Welcome to another episode of the Vegan Pulse. I am your host, Nancy Arenas. And today my guest is Karina Puvogel. She is the author of Poetry for the Enlightenment, a project that aims to raise people's consciousness through poetry. She is a vegan activist, creator of the Instagram channel Proyecto Cartel, an education and news channel for the Spanish-speaking vegan community, as well as the creator of the channel Agenda Vegana Chile, which publishes classes and contests in favor of plant-based lifestyle and for animal lovers. She also works with Una Victoria para Viña, an animal group whose mission has been to free the horses from the Victorian carriages in the city of Viña del Mar. Stick around, I'd like to introduce her to you. Hi Karina, how are you?
Hello Nancy, it's a pleasure to be here with you and your audience.
Thank you so very much. Thank you for joining us on the Vegan Pulse. I want to get right to it and ask you to please let my audience know how your journey to veganism came about, please.
Yes, it started about 10 years ago when I was 21. I saw on the internet these very disturbing images of slaughtered cow, and it was so horrible. I have loved animals my whole life. I'm a very sensitive person. I have a connection with the animals my whole life, but didn't make the connection until then that I was drinking milk of a raped cow, tortured cow, slaughtered cow, eat eggs, flesh still. So that was when I make the connection, when I inform myself by the internet.
And now tell us a little bit about, you have some channels on Instagram directed to Spanish vegan community. Can you tell us about those?
Yes, that is right. I have two channels. One is a kind of a schedule where I join all the contents. What's the word?
Contests?
Contests, right? And classes. Because of the pandemics, it has increased those online activities. So I join in just one place. They promote, right, a plant-based diet, and they promote like rights for animals. So that is one channel. It's called Agenda Vegana Chile. In English, it would be like Vegan Agenda Chile. The other project, it really was born on the street, because I first joined a year ago, Anonymous for the Voiceless. But you know, this vegan activism you do that exists internationally. It exists here in Chile too. Well, and I decided to make an independent activism. So I did this channel. That is why I did it. And it turned to be a channel where I publish news, motivation, and education for vegans and for non-vegans too.
Awesome.
And what I do a lot too is I translate content, because in my country, people don't manage well English. So yeah, I do a lot of that stuff too.
Okay, and then tell us about the project about the horse carriages.
Right. Here there is one of the great of the main cities of my country. It's called Viña del Mar. It's a very touristic city, where, like in New York, there is horse carriages. Not anymore since this year, because
did it end this year?
It ended this year, just before the pandemic.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a fight that was uh, done by this group. I just joined like just in the end, but I'm still a member of the group. We still are trying to get those surviving horses to a sanctuary. That is the still remaining activity that has to be made. Yeah.
Feel great to work on a project and then see it to fruition, because you were there so that they would ban those horse carriages, and now they're banned. So kudos to you and your group. Thank you so much.
You know, what I missed, it was a struggle of more than 7 years. You can imagine, and I just joined there and like give a final impulse, so that would end. You know.
And then now I just want you to tell us about your project, Poetry for the Enlightenment.
Yeah. Well, I have write my whole life. I'm a journalist of profession, and about a year and ago, I started doing poetry, and I published. I started to publish it on my social media.
Well, while you're doing that, I wanna read one of your sayings here.
Sure.
And you can
please.
talk about that while you get inside, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Living in denial of our spiritual nature has been a disaster. Little by little, the spiritual was invalidated. The long-awaited material prosperity has led us to the misery of the sacred. We are rich with dead hearts. That is so powerful. We're talking, so you're talking there about how we're so consumed with material stuff and just ourselves that we have let our spiritual side really go. I mean, the true self.
Right. I think we are still living in the Middle Age because we live in a moral obscurantism. You nowadays, like James, the vegan activist James Aspie said, nowadays you can order a Uber or a meal on your cell phone, but we still eat animals, slaughter animals. It's like we have to evolve in that sense. We aren't awake of the fact that we are making a living hell to all earthlings out there that are so much more animals. You could spend your whole life counting them and you won't end counting all the victims out there. It's a real holocaust. I can't find a word enough powerful enough to say the suffering that is going on out there. It's just a horror movie. It's terrible. So we have to be aware of that, and when we do, we will ask ourselves, what else do I don't know? After that, it will become like naturally, like the world didn't show me that this was going on. What else do I don't know?
And then you have this other, nobody teaches their pain, and thus nobody wants to appear less. And in this collective lie in which we are imprisoned and gagged at the heart, nothing remains but superficiality. I mean, those are just, and then you go on to say, but the strangulation of our spiritual being means living a pseudo life, depression and suicide. I mean, those are just some powerful words you have there, Karina, and you could see it everywhere you look around in the world, what you're saying. I mean, we see it. People may not be connecting it, but if they see it and find out the truth, they will see the connection between what you're saying and the world we're experiencing.
we really live in a matrix, because this world is like built in so much lies. When you research, when you start thinking for yourself, when you start meditate, when you go in your inner self, be alone, write, do all the stuff that it's like introvert stuff, because there is a cult to extrovertism, to materialism, to the outside world, that we like live like Homer Simpson. I feel like in this stupid mode where people do not get aware of the truth of the food the food you eat, it's poison. The kind of sex we have, it's not spiritual. With this porn, in so many senses, animals thought as commodities. In so many senses, we live in a materialistic way. So we have to, I think, go back to the ancient philosophers who said, go within, go to the spirit. Materialism won't last, like what really matters is spirit.
Yeah, and materialism is what brings people into conflict most of the time. And you wrote, in this madness, we go through the world in individualismo, in a save yourself mode. And that is so sad, that we are all in it for ourselves and not respectful of everyone as we should be.
Right. I think really the crisis of our time is solitude. But the kind of solitude by not making real connections with others. How many people out there really have what you can call friends, but real friends? Like when you open up your heart and say what matters to you, why you are living. Like there is such connections among people. Families don't talk to each other. We are consuming ourselves in cell phones. The social media is not helping us to get in touch with each other. Social, it must be called like unsocial media, really, because we are like living through our cell phones. There is a very good movie that talks about it. It is called Surrogates, with Bruce Willis. Must see if you are interested in this.
Yeah, it's just, our world today has to change, and this pandemic, I think, is the first step that's trying to take us there and saying,
Totally.
hey, either do it or die.
Exactly. This pandemic is working for people, I think, to go within, to finally meet people, to get to know them, like, I found myself, like, find the purpose, like, find what is important.
Yeah. Karina, thank you so very much for being with us. Appreciate it. You're in Chile, you're going into spring, so that's nice. New stuff coming up from the ground, right? Here in Albuquerque, I'm going into fall and winter. So it's great to see you, to meet you, and to speak with you. And I will have information on the Vegan Pulse website about you. So if people want to find out more and follow you on Instagram or on Facebook, they can do so. Bye.